Welcome, Aditya.
In Malaka, like this one now. Let's switch here. One ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಬಫರಿಂಗ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಬಫರಿಂಗ್.
Sir, I'll go with ma'am. Start my session now. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ನೋಡ್ಕೊತಾ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ. ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಓವರ್ ಟು ಯು ಸರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the second session of FDP. I hope the morning session was delightful, and I hope afternoon session will be equally engaging and enriching. We look forward to the productive learning. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, what we had been discussing in the morning was that why some people are able to get good results from AI, some people are not able to get such a good result from AI. And we have spoken about means how what are the behavior of a novice and what are the behaviors of an expert with the AI. So we stopped at that screen because we wanted to speak a little more on that. So therefore, Therefore, my request is to please look this. If necessary, you please take a photograph of this. The expertise paradox. Same tool, opposite outcome. I repeat, same tool, opposite outcome. Research reveals a critical bifurcation in generative AI ethics based on user sophistication. Means novice user pathway amplification of risk means people who take generative AI as it is, they have got an amplification, they amplify the risk. At the same time, expert user pathway, augmentation of capability. Actually, what generative AI does, what generative AI does. Generative AI actually amplifies us, augments us. Means ultimately there is something called us. If us is zero, what it has got to amplify is zero. It is something like a zero into any number is equal to zero. 0 into 1 crore is equal to 0. That is what actually happening with the generative AI. Who are we is getting amplified. Therefore, the important things to get maximum from generative AI is to make ourselves bigger, knowledgeable, capable, skillful. And we are going to speak about that here. So let us speak about the novice user pathway, that is amplification of risk. I told in the beginning that there are certain people, whatever ChatGPT gives, tell yes ma'am, and they take it. When those people log in with their credential, ChatGPT will sit and say, "Oh, one idiot is coming." Means whatever I say that person will agree. This is what actually happening. I told you about that research finding I read 2 days ago. That is by the scientific department from this AI platform Cloud. Cloud says that they studied in the last 1 year's complete research process how people used generative cloud, and they realized that cloud is actually mirroring the capability of the user. So if the user is using speaking with the PhD level, then immediately cloud will rise to PhD level. You see here behavior pattern of a novice user. Accept first response uncritically. This is the danger. Accepts first response means whatever is given to that person without even checking, it really means that person accepts. Second, lacks domain knowledge to detect hallucination. Lacks domain knowledge to detect hallucination. Best way to identify hallucination is to have domain knowledge. Third, cannot identify biased or incomplete reasoning. Biased reasoning, incomplete reasoning. Both are dangerous. So that person is not able to identify this. Then treats AI as oracle rather than a tool. Means whatever AI gives is oracle, that is a supreme, and I take it. And what are the ethical consequences of that? Ethical in the sense, all consequences. Ethical consequences are plagiarism through unattributed AI generated content. Means whatever ChatGPT gave, copied and kept, and therefore the copied and kept without criticizing, without questioning. So plagiarism through unattributed AI generated content. Second, perpetuation of factual errors and biases, very critical. Third, intellectual atrophy. This is what the word you have to write and keep it there in front of your computer. If there is one phrase you have to take from here is intellectual atrophy. What is intellectual atrophy? Intellectual atrophy through cognitive offloading. Intellectual atrophy means we are gradually becoming mentally retarded. Means we are offloading, we are we are offloading all our cognitive work. All our decisions are taken by generative AI. In such a situation, what happens to human brain? Human brain, that is what intellectual atrophy. We should not get into that. That was the reason I was telling you earlier. When you give a prompt, whatever output you get, you critically read, resist the temptation to put the next prompt. Never do that. Read it, question, and fight with the ChatGPT. I use ChatGPT because that is the most popular generative AI. When I say ChatGPT, it is equivalent to generative AI. So intellectual atrophy through cognitive offloading, then appearance of competence without substance. Appearance of competence without substance. This is what actually we are seeing in the society now. I am going to speak about that one tomorrow. Appearance of competence without substance and how to overcome that. This pathway confirms critics' fears. AI enables superficial engagement that mimics scholarship without developing genuine expertise. This is what novice users do. Now let us see what an expert user do. The expert user does. Behavior pattern interrogates AI responses with disciplinary knowledge. Very, very critical. Please take a photograph of this. An expert user interrogates generative AI with disciplinary knowledge. Question, interrogate, like a police interrogation. Like a police interrogation. That you have to really slap chat GPT back. Uses AI as thinking partner for exploration. Thinking partner, start dialogue, and use the word we. How can we do it? It looks like this. Here it's here I read this. Then how can we do this? We. That this is a very good approach. Cross examines reasoning and demands justification. Cross examining reasoning. The one important, ChatGPT is not a search engine. It can do the reasoning. Actually, what we are paying money is for reasoning. Cross examines reasoning and demands justification. Iteratively refines through multiple conversational turns. Iteratively refines through multiple conversational turns. Validates outputs against authoritative sources. Validate outputs against authoritative sources. Now, what are the cognitive process involved in this? Please note this. Challenge. Your reasoning here seems incomplete. What about X consideration? Another consideration. Second, probe. Explain the assumptions underlying this claim. Means ChatGPT will just make a claim. It can be hallucination. Explain the assumptions underlying this claim. Test. How would this framework handle contradictory evidence? Why? How would this framework handle contradictory evidence? Why? Synthesis combines AI generated insights with the expert judgment. Now, ethical outcome. When an expert uses ChatGPT in this way, what are all the ethical outcome? AI becomes cognitive amplifier, not replacement. Cognitive amplifier enables exploration of conceptual spaces beyond individual capacity. enables exploration of conceptual spaces beyond individual capacity. Let me ask you a question. Now imagine I am standing at a time space. At that time, car got introduced for the first time. When the car got introduced for the first time, I am not going to use car to travel the same distance I normally walk. I got a car. Car has got power. I am going to use the car to travel distances which I would not have traveled in my life without a car. Or I am going to use the car to travel to such a distances where I would not have travel with my legs. That is what generative AI is all about. We are traveling the distances beyond. That is actually stretching ourselves. Therefore, enables exploration of conceptual spaces beyond individual capacity, accelerates hypothesis generation while maintaining critical evaluation, accelerates hypothesis generation while maintaining critical evaluation, preserves intellectual ownership through active co-creation, preserves individual ownership through active co-creation, enhances creativity through what-if scenarios. These are the real usage of generative AI by an expert. And when you use generative AI in this way, you get breakthrough results. You get breakthrough results. Let me tell you an example. See, you know Steve Jobs is the co-founder of Apple Computers. Steve Jobs is considered the most creative CEO the world has seen. There is a definition of his about creativity. Creativity is nothing but rearranging what we already know. Means whatever we are seeing now, whatever innovation you are seeing around, you will see that these are all rearranging of the things. Very few times actual something really evolves. I will tell you one classic example. See, now we have got a touch screen phone. Touch screen phone, we are using it because all inputs majority of the outputs happening to the touch screen. And I want to tell you that in 1991, when I was staying in Japan, being a mechanical engineer, I was there in the factory shop floor. There on the milling machines, input device was a touch screen. But means that was a touch screen. But I never thought that one day I am going to use that touch screen in 2026 to input phone number or a detail or a bank detail to that. Therefore, we need to understand 99.99% of innovations, inventions, and anything new is rearranging whatever is existing. We have to see generative AI from that point of view because whatever is existing is already digitized and kept in generative AI. So it is your ability to rearrange that. It is going to give you new ideas. So this rearranging is a capability experts can use with these methodologies. I hope you got the seriousness of this. The gist of what I was telling you, I will show you here. You saw that in computer, information technology, there is a saying, GIGO. GIGO means garbage in, garbage out. Garbage in, garbage out. If you are giving is garbage, you cannot expect anything other than garbage. But in the case of generative AI, it is a little different. You give garbage, you get augmented garbage out. You get amplified garbage out. That is what you are seeing here. It's an augmented, amplified garbage out. So there are two things about generative AI we must understand as an expert user. First, the quality of the questions decides the quality of the answers. No excuse here. The quality of the questions decides the quality of the answers. The skill and ability to question the answers lead to new knowledge generation. The skill and ability to question the answers. It is not answering the question, it's a questioning the answer is lead to new knowledge generation. Please take a photograph of this because this is very important. Whatever I said so far, you won't find anywhere on internet or anything. It is all my research. Now you see this one. This is a clever approach to prompting. I have developed my own about 45 to 50 prompting techniques, and while doing so, I have written some books on generative AI's application, and this is one technique I developed. This is called a clever approach to prompting. Clever approach. So clever stands for C, critical thinking. L, literacy and subject knowledge, that is domain knowledge. E, ethical awareness. V, versatility. E, experimentation and iteration. R, result orientation. So this is something which you must know before venturing into high-end use of generative AI. What is critical thinking? I will tell you one by one. Critical thinking. The ability to evaluate AI responses critically, identifying biases, inaccuracies, or areas for improvement. Means you are building the ability to evaluate AI responses critically, identifying biases, inaccuracies, or areas for improvement. What are the examples? Assessing the AI's output for logical consistency and factual accuracy before accepting is as valid. Otherwise, you tell ChatGPT back very bad words. Means you tell when you catch ChatGPT by the collar and when you ask that this is not logically consistent and this is not factually accurate, then ChatGPT got its the slap that is due. So when ChatGPT gets slaps after slaps from you, in ChatGPT's mind, your rating has gone up. With such a rating, you are going to get excellent breakthrough responses from it. Now, second, questioning whether the AI's response align with the ethical guidelines and cultural sensitivities. Third, identifying subtle biases in the AI's language or content suggestions and refining prompts to mitigate them. So these are the mm, these are the important thing about critical thinking, that is C. L. L stands for critical thinking is the most thing, that is the first letter of clever approach. Second is literacy and subject knowledge. Here I would like to tell you one thing. This usage of generative AI, in one aspect it is heavily against us because there is great possibility of communication gap, especially when it comes to idioms and phrases and phrasal verbs. You know, this entire BPO industry from India went to Philippines. One reason was Indians' inability to learn phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs are very important part of English language. So when we are writing a prompt, we have to make sure that that prompt English is actually the same question what we are thinking about asking. So one good way, that is what when I am coming to literacy, proficiency in language and a deep understanding of the subject matter, allowing for precise and informed prompt crafting. This proficiency in language and a deep understanding of the subject matter. These are the two things, proficiency in language. Example, using technical jargon accurately when asking the AI to generate content related to specialized fields like medicine or law or any other. Crafting prompts that incorporate historical context or scientific principles correctly, translating complex concepts into accessible language for a broader audience without losing the essence of the subject. This is in my opinion, if there are in that clever 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, totally 7 letters, this is the most crucial. This is the most crucial element for an Indian AI user or a researcher, because we make mistake in language of the prompt. I have seen many occasions where the research scholar shows that this is what I got from ChatGPT, and then when you get confused, you go and check there on the prompt. You have to see that prompt. That prompt is totally, it can be interpreted in various ways. You have to write a prompt in such a way that that prompt cannot be interpreted in various ways, only one way. That is the way you want to ask. This is what the L means. Literacy and subject knowledge is the second one. First point of clever was C. Second L was literacy and subject knowledge. E is ethical awareness. Ethical awareness, a commitment to promoting fairness, avoiding harm, and ensuring the responsible use of AI. Means, example, avoiding prompts that might produce outputs reinforcing stereotypes or prejudice. Two, ensuring that AI does not generate content that could be harmful, offensive, or invasive of privacy. Three, actively seeking to understand and mitigate the ethical implications of AI generated content. Content can be anything. It can be from a response, a textual response to a fake video. It can be anything. Then B means versatility. What is versatility in prompting? Versatility in prompting, the capacity to adapt to various prompting techniques. See, I will based on the time after this, I think only two three slides are there more. After this, I will show you the various prompting techniques. I am not going to show prompt like this, but why you have to see various prompting techniques in the sense, now you look at you just think about kitchen. You just think about kitchen. There are various types of spoons, various type of handling things are there in kitchen. You look a specialist, a passionate cook, a passionate chef, how he or she uses those things. There are certain situations you have to use a certain tool. This is the same thing applicable in engineering. It is like based on the screw, you take the spanner, or based on the, or like a surgeon, based on the situation, that person uses the knife. Similarly, based on the situation, we should be able to use the correct prompting technique. If we do not use that, then we may not get whatever is required. This is to be understood from the point of view that, just imagine if you see the physical manifestation of ChatGPT. Physical manifestation, it is like a physical library 1 kilometer wide and 50-kilometer long. 1 kilometer wide and 50-kilometer wide long library is ChatGPT's physical manifestation. That means almost everything that can be digitized is already digitized and kept. So therefore, it is not what is not there. It is actually what is there and we are not able to pick up. It is like if people say diamond mines. Diamond mines are very deep. Means you cannot see diamond lying on the surface of the earth. Iron ore may lie like this, but not a diamond. Diamond you have to dig, dig, dig. Similarly, when you have got a 1 kilometer by 50-kilometer library in front of you, if you want to take diamond out of this, you have to dig, dig, dig. This digging is the clever approach to prompting. Clever prompting. And in this clever prompting, you must use this, then you will get diamond. So we are coming to versatility. The capacity to adapt various prompting techniques to various contexts, styles, and objectives, showing flexibility and creativity. See, which spanner to take, which knife to take, which spoon to take, everything is showing flexibility and creativity, and it shows an objective. Means our selection of the tool is based on objective through flexibility and creativity. Example, altering the tone of prompts to match the required output from formal reports to creative fiction. Experimenting with the different prompt structures to achieve the best possible response from the AI. 3. Adapting prompts based on feedback or the evolving capabilities of AI models. Altering the tone of prompts to match the required output from formal reports to creative fiction, experimenting with the different prompt structures to achieve the best possible response from the AI, adapting prompts based on feedback or the evolving capabilities of AI models. This was versatility. Now E, experimentation and iteration. Now you see experimentation and iteration. That is what the fifth point of clever approach to prompting to get the maximum breakthrough results from generative AI. The practice of continuously refining prompts based on outcomes, embracing a trial and error approach, experimentation, and iteration. Iteration is a trial and error approach. Example, tweaking word choice. Just to see this one, linked to literacy. Tweaking word choice or structure in prompts to see how it affects the clarity and detail of AI responses. 2. Using feedback from users or stakeholders to iteratively improve the quality of AI generated outputs. 3. Systematically testing different prompt strategies to identify best practices for EVE, anything, but we should have a result orientation. Means we are prompting, we are using generative AI. This is with an objective. That is what the result, and there should be an orientation for that result. So a focus on achieving specific desired outcomes through precise and effective prompt design. Example 1, clearly defining the objective of each prompt to ensure the AI's outputs meet the intended goal. 2. Analyzing AI responses to identify patterns that lead to successful outcomes. 3. Tailoring prompts to maximize the relevance and utility of the AI's output for the end user. So this is the clever approach to prompting. Please take a photograph of this because such things won't be, it is not there anywhere. So, interactivity enables epistemological partnership. Books are static, that is, knowledge is fixed at publication. Reader cannot challenge or refine author's claims. Learning is equal to absorption and interpretation. Google search, semi-dynamic. User can refine search strategy, but algorithm still controls what is retrievable. Learning is equal to strategic information retrieval. Now, what is generative AI? It is fully dynamic. Google search was semi-dynamic. Books were static. So, generative AI fully dynamic. User can challenge every assertion. I will tell you, this type of an opportunity has not come to entire mankind. And I am really surprised to see how most people they take it very lightly and without any value. This is one of the biggest thing happened in human history. Means whatever can be digitized, that can be digitized and put it in a large language model that is accessible in various ways, and it can be synthesized in the way which we want. So user can challenge every assertion, demand alternative perspective, user is in control, request deeper explanation, test logical consistency, co-construct understanding through dialogue. This is like a world's best guru. A guru knows everything, sitting next to you and helping you. This conversational epistemology is unprecedented. For the expert user, AI becomes a Socratic questioning engine, a tool that doesn't replace human thinking but systematically challenges and refines it. So, in the screen, this is the last screen, I think. Let me check. Essential competencies for ethical AI use. Competency one, domain expertise, foundation. Without domain expertise, we can't get anything, any breakthrough from AI. Description, deep subject knowledge to evaluate AI outputs, familiarity with the disciplinary standards and debates. Second, critical interrogation skill. It's a process. It is a process. That is, ability to identify gaps, biases, or errors in AI reasoning. Skills in formulating, probing, follow-up questions. Iterative refinement method. Strategic use of multi-turn conversations. Progressive narrowing from broad exploration to precise claims. Validation protocol, that is a quality control. Cross-referencing AI outputs with the authoritative sources. Applying disciplinary standards for evidence and argumentation. Metacognitive awareness, that is governance. Consciousness of when to rely on AI versus independent judgment, very important. Recognition of AI limitation and failure modes. So now let us see, uh, participants, what are the clarifications or questions you have? What are the things I will tell? I know I will tell. Any questions?
Thank you, sir. Participants, if there are any questions, kindly type in the chat box or unmute yourself and ask sir questions. Sir will be glad to answer it.
Once we finish this question answer, then as I spoke, I will show you some of the key prompting ways. Means where to use which thing so that we will get breakthrough results. Okay, then no one has got any questions, so let us go ahead with okay. Okay, so that I will go to the next one. It will be. Hope you can see my screen, blue screen with the arrow.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
See, I am not going to speak about entire prompt engineering here. I am going to speak to you regarding which tool to use where. Because if you know software or if you know engineering or if you know any other technology thing, one of the key thing is where to use the tools available. For example, now just to take about English language, just to take the example of English language. In English language, apart from this, we learn alphabet, we learn grammar, we learn, as I was telling, idioms and phrases or phrasal verbs or usages, adjectives, everything we learn. But what is that real thing of usage? Usage is where to use which grammar. Means from that usage it comes to a communication. That is the key thing. This is the place in which anyone can learn by rote learning. Anyone can muck up grammar. Anyone can muck up the meaning of this idioms and phrases, phrasal verbs, various words. But ultimately, the competency or a person's proficiency is coming from which grammar to use where, which vocabulary to use where, which phrasal verbs to use where. Unless they know, they are not going to become proficient. Similarly, other point is what are all the possibilities? What are all the possibilities? Means if I know present perfect continuous tense, what are all the possibilities of that? This is what we have to understand. Therefore, I am not going to speak about the prompt engineering, everything. What I am going to speak here is how to use which prompt in artificial intelligence. So when you get to know that, you will see many possibilities of using. See, asking the right question, unleashing AI's potential. The quality of AI responses depends on how you ask your questions. I explained this briefly there. Here, it is a question, what is a prompt? I want to tell you a key point here. Prompt is not a question. Prompt is not a statement. Then what is prompt? Please understand one word here. In generative AI, a prompt is an input given to the model to guide its output. The key word is guide. It is channeling the output. What are the things you are giving to ChatGPT as an input that will work as something to channel the output is the prompt. Guide or channel. If you don't understand this one, you will not use 50% of the prompting efficiency. Why I am telling guiding its output? I will tell you an example. I will tell you an example. Suppose I am speaking to my friend. Oh, which are the movies in the theaters now? And then I say that I heard one particular movie that is good. I didn't say I want to go for that movie. I asked which are the movies in the theaters now. Then I heard this movie is good. If you tell like this in prompting, ChatGPT will think that you want to watch that movie. This is what guiding its output. With a secondary thought, you are guiding it. If you don't understand this, many times you give with good intention certain things, but you will never get a good output. Then you blame the prompt or blame ChatGPT. It is not, blame yourself. It is important thing is the guiding its out the model to guide its output. This could be a question, a phrase, a keyword, or a sentence that inform the AI what kind of text it should generate. These are the things. Then, what is prompt engineering? I am not going to speak about prompt engineering full. I am going to speak about one thing. What is engineering? Do you know why engineering education is a failure in India? What we are teaching is not engineering. We are teaching some skillfully arrange for something to occur. So you are arranging the words in such a way that skillfully arranging so that something will occur. This is what the prompt engineering. Now, this is the magic prompt formula. Some prompts, some prompts can go to 6 A4 size sheets or longer than that. Let it be whatever it is, but at least this much should be there in every prompt. That is context, task, and information. CTI. CTI. At least this much should be there in every prompt. That is context, task, and instruction. Then, if possible, give an example or data. For example, this context, task, instruction. Context, I am hungry. I am hungry. Task, order one masala dosa on Swiggy. Then instruction, the restaurant should be within 2 kilometers. So this can be, it is as simple as that, but at least this much should be there in every prompt. So here I have shown you two flowcharts. One is input output. Second is input process output. Input output in the sense you are giving a prompt, you are getting an output. That prompt inside, you are giving that prompt in such a way that it gives the direct output. For example, which city is the capital of Karnataka? It is immediately Bangalore. Means there is nothing to process it there because it is there in the public domain. But another one, there are you are asking or you are putting a prompt and you are telling a process also along with the prompt. You are telling process means it is something like I am going to hotel and telling I want a masala dosha, I get a masala dosha. But I heard some people saying, no, that masala dosha should be this much thick and it should have that golden color and you have to put this one inside, not fully but only in the central part. Means they give the almost a recipe from there. So similar to that, this input process and output. Input and then you are giving the process also along with that. What are the advantages of this? See, in generative AI, you can customize it fully. Means you can customize the input, you can customize the process, you can customize the output in whichever way you want. So there are formal versus informal tone, complexity of information, length of response, general specific prompt, emotion or sentiment, factual or creative output, bullet, tabular form, whichever way you want output, you can. So here there is a very critical thing. You can control the output with customizing a prompt. Then why can't you create an output prompt in such a way that you don't get any plagiarism or you get it completely in a human way? You know that, turn it in. It is going to show AI content. So can you change the output style here in such a way that it will not be detected by Turnitin? Now, this is another way of this, means you should not use anything on generative AI without giving a role or persona. Means whenever I use generative AI, the first thing I am writing is that first thing I am writing is the who are you? Who are you? If you give persona to generative AI, you will get best results from that. That this particular persona, you can make how much fine tuning possible. For example, you can write that act as a policeman. So ChatGPT will act as a policeman. Then you can write that act as a policeman who is chasing a thief. Then it will become that. Act as a policeman who is chasing a thief who has got a knife in his hand. Then it will become another one. When you mean these are all very critical when you are trying to attempt critical problems related to things. For example, I will tell you now last 2.5 years I have not called any person to repair my computer. It is because I ask ChatGPT exactly that you are so and so and so. Means it become in such a way that you are a specialist of display of Dell this model. You just imagine. I am telling ChatGPT that uh, uh, act as a computer hardware repairing professional who is specializing in Dell this model. Means I give the model. So what happens? What we are getting is a person who specialized on that particular Dell model's display. So then it is actually focusing on that. Then the possibility of you getting a correct answer is very high. Now this is one thing, chain of thought prompt. I am very sure that that ma'am yesterday would have explained, because this is the most popular. I need not speak about that. 0, 1 and few short prompts. You must be knowing that short means how many examples you are giving. How many examples you are giving in the prompt. For example, I can give a prompt to ChatGPT, which city is the capital of Karnataka is the question, and I write Thiruvananthapuram is the capital of Kerala. So when I give this as an example, immediately ChatGPT knows what I am looking for. It will give exactly the answer as Bangalore. This is the interaction prompt. Interaction prompts are very important because ChatGPT will start interacting with you. There are many ways in which, if you want something, you can always prompt in such a way that it will start speaking to you. You respond. It will ask once again with you. Means you can have a debate with the ChatGPT. Now see this one. Let us think about this prompt. Let us think about this. Means you see the word us. Let us means you are taking ChatGPT as a co-author or a teammate. You are asking, you give something to ChatGPT and start then let us think about this. Seed word, seed phrase prompt. Seed word, seed phrase in the sense, what is a seed? You sow the seed and seed will start growing. This is what exactly happening with the ChatGPT when you use a seed word prompt. I will tell you an example. Generate an inspiring speech to the Indian young athletes, seed word Olympics. Similarly, you can say, generate an inspiring speech to the faculty members. Seed word OBE. Seed word Bloom's taxonomy. Means you need to give only one word. Then ChatGPT will start generating based on that single word. But please note that, as we discussed earlier, it will not be a controlled generation. It will be a generation like that particular site what I was telling, oriateai.com. It is something like they are making a generation on their own, according to their own algorithm and programming. So you will get in an uncontrolled way. Self-consistency prompt. You know what is self-consistency? You can tell ChatGPT to do something inconsistent with something. Inconsistent with something. For example, you want to create a question paper for this semester, and you can upload last semester's question paper to ChatGPT and tell that create a question paper inconsistent with this question paper. Create a question paper inconsistent with this question paper.
There is a query.
Now, this is a very interesting and at the same time very much questioning or a controversial thing. It is a knowledge generation prompt. You know what is meant by knowledge generation? It is generating new knowledge. Then people will ask how new knowledge can be generated. I hope you remember earlier I was telling you that Steve Jobs, he said, creativity is nothing but rearranging what you already know. So, can you tell ChatGPT to rearrange something so that it is going to create new knowledge? Rearranging things means totally things are not never known to be mutually complementing. This is what actually coming from knowledge generation prompt. This can lead to interdisciplinary research. But creativity, application of that clever principle is very important here. You must know exactly where to specify what, but it is really worth trying. This is knowledge integration. Knowledge integration, another method for interdisciplinary research. Knowledge integration means you are selecting certain knowledge snippets and then you want to integrate that to this. It is not just integration. You can tell ChatGPT to integrate in which way, which you can give weightage. You can tell which way to do. See the logic. Merging knowledge streams, identifying relationships, unified understanding. See, this is another important thing, interpretable soft prompt. Don't get scared by the terminology and all. Interpretable soft prompt. It is, I will tell you an example. Morning I was telling you that there is a research manuscript. It is 11 pages. It is 11 pages. You are forced to make it into 9.5 pages. Now, You know that certain things you cannot change. You know that certain things you can approximately change. You know that certain things okay to change. Then if you use an interpretable soft prompt by clearly identifying, telling ChatGPT don't touch these things, and then specifically telling this thing based on this condition you can touch, then you are telling another section based on this you can touch. If you can write a prompt in that way, it is called interpretable soft prompt. If within 1 second you will get 9-page manuscript into 9 point, no 11-page manuscript into 9.5-page manuscript. I hope you remember one example I told you in the morning. That is about writing. Write something, write a story, then write a story about this, write a story, so that how much you go put more and more milestones, how much more restrictions you put at what type of interval, then you are going to get then you are going to get a generation according to your control. So that is what called controlled generation prompt. I will tell you a few examples because it is very important. See, very simple. Complete the following sentence in a style comprehensible to a non-English speaker using the following vocabulary. Complete the following sentence in a style comprehensible to a non-English speaker using the following vocabulary. Means success, struggle, self-confidence, journey, education, experience. Then the sentence is Sachin could get admission to an Ivy League university. Means there is a sentence there. We are telling the chat GPT to add these words to that. Add these words to that. Means that is an example of controlled generation. There are two very high applications of these things. Now second one I will show you. This is a story generation template. Story generation template. For example, you know that people say, "Oh, I watched that movie. Is really means it's a formula movie." Formula movie in the sense, if there was a Kannada movie that was successful some 4 months ago, and another one successful some 6 months ago, they really understand and create a formula out of it. It is called a formula movie. Means what are the things? There were 6 dance scenes in that, 2 stunt scenes in this. It had politics in that. Means they made a formula. This formula can be used in ChatGPT to create a similar story. Means you first make that template of that formula and give to ChatGPT and tell that this is happening in Tumkur or this is happening in Davangere, and you can write it exactly like this, and then it will generate a story. This is a controlled generation. Example 3. See, generate a sentence that follows the following grammatical rule. Okay, relative clause. Mumbai is the financial capital of India. Means we are giving a controlled thing by saying that you have to tell this, but use this grammatical rule. That's a controlled generation. Now there are many more to go, so I will go from here. This is summarization prompt. Summarization need not be only just summarization. You can have controlled summarization. You can have various ways of summarization. You can tell that while summarizing, you keep this sentence intact. Now I will show you another one, another important point, which is okay. Now I am going to show you some of the advanced interdisciplinary prompting technique where you get some very good result. Reverse engineering prompt technique. Reverse engineering prompt technique. It is ask ChatGPT to reverse engineer a solution or product starting from the desired outcome, working backwards to outline the necessary steps or components to achieve it. Means you are showing the result and you are telling ChatGPT to reverse engineer it. Second one is cross pollination inquiry technique. Encourage the fusion of ideas from disparate fields to generate innovative solutions or concepts that draw upon multidisciplinary insight. For example, how could
ಎಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ವೈ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಸರ್ ಸೆಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲ್ ಗ್ಲಿಚ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದರಿಂದ ಸರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಗೋಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಟ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಓನ್ಲಿ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಓಕೆ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
So this is Socratic.
Sir, not audible, sir.
So prompt ChatGPT to explore outcomes and innovations in parallel universes or alternative realities where different historical or scientific principles apply. So what I want to tell you here is that the usage of ChatGPT is not the way in which people commonly believe. And there is a novice, that is a simple way of using ChatGPT. 99% of people use that and they criticize ChatGPT and they get so much of plagiarism. They get so much of unethical things. But when you are using ChatGPT, it is a very powerful tool. Only thing, like any other tool, for example, if I am buying a new phone, at least I have to spend half an hour to read the instruction manual of that. As I was telling you in the morning, here, even after 28 years of introduction, people have not read Google search instruction manual. Google search has got an instruction manual people have not read. Therefore, even now, people just dump something on that search bar and they click and they then whatever they get, they say that this is what I got from Google. This is what exactly happening with the generative AI now. That is not the thing expected from respected faculty members, because you have to shine like a diamond in front of students and you are the boss in the classroom. You have to create interest in the subject. You have to overcome the resistance of WhatsApp and Instagram, etc. Therefore, the usage of generative AI, especially through prompting, understanding all the possibilities of generative AI, understanding all these things. When you understand these things, one thing I guarantee, many teachers they say that students know better than us in ChatGPT. It is wrong. I have seen, I studied how students use ChatGPT. They do not know. What are the things I told about clever technique of prompting? They are not using. And they are using in certain ways. Ultimately, they get some result and we are accepting that. There are certain ways in which you can give the assignment in such a way that they will not be able to use ChatGPT for completion of that. Okay, so with this, I think it is almost coming to 3:30. Now let me keep this for discussion. Anyone has got any clarification? My request is that please ask questions, because I am working in this for the last 3 years plus, and my head got really marinated with generative AI related things, because I am working in this field and did many new products from that. Means, for example, we have got a teacher communication simulator, because teachers teaching is speaking. Teachers can impress students only with their speaking. Always students respect a teacher who can speak well and counter them on the spot. Countering a student on the spot in this world is the most important capability of a teacher. Countering and checkmating, because if you do like that, then that student will start respecting you. Therefore, we developed one teacher communication simulator. In the way teacher is given with the continuous extempore talking, and then it will give the AI feedback to the teacher that these are all the things can be improved. And the most important thing is that this can be done in private. It is not necessary to even to show to your peer. It is only between simulator and you, and the report is coming to you. MP4 of your speaking is coming to you. So I did many work like this. Therefore, if you have any clarification on this, please ask. It is open for questioning.
Sir only asked for should ನಾನು ಇನ್ನೂ ಸಲ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಾ? Thank you, sir. Participants, if there any questions, kindly type in the chat box or unmute yourself and ask questions for sir. Sir is glad to answer you. So, is there any query, participants? Kindly type in the chat box or unmute yourself and ask sir questions. So next step is thank you. No queries?
Or let me know at least one thing. See, I do not follow the normal or ordinary way of faculty development program, because my way of explanations are somewhat different. So please let me know what is your feedback about that, whether you could understand what I had been speaking. So that in the next sessions I can take a little care.
Participants, you may ask queries in chat box too. So the technical team will express your queries or convey your queries to sir. ಏನು ಮೇಡಿ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಈಗ
ಸರ್ ಏನೋ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸರ್
ನಾಟ್ ಆಡಿಬಲ್ ಏನು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ
ಸರ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟರು.
ಸರಿ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರು
ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಇವತ್ತು? ಯಾಕೋ ಬಿಟ್ಟು
ಯಾರು ಬಿಟ್ರು ಸರ್ ಏನು ಮಾತಾಡೋದು
ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ.
ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೇಳಿಸುತ್ತಾ
ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತು.
ನಮ್ದು ಏನಿತ್ತು ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಈಗ